Good evening, everybody. If I can get everybody's attention, please. You all look beautiful tonight. Thank you. If I could please get everybody's attention, we do need everybody to please have a seat so we can get the entrees out and get the program started. If you didn't hear me in the back, if you could please have a seat so we can get the entrees out and get the program started. Thank you all.
We the people.
We the people.
We the people.
Of the United States.
In order to form
a more perfect union.
Establish justice.
Ensure domestic tranquility.
Provide for the common defense.
Promote the general welfare.
And secure the blessings of liberty
to ourselves
and our posterity.
Do ordain and establish
this Constitution for
the United States of America.
We the people.
Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you. That was really good for my self-esteem. Thank you. It is great to be here with you on such an important night and to be with you just a day after Kentucky's governor stood up and said every single child is a child of God. I want to thank Susan for making this night possible and for bringing these two groups together. And we also have to thank, I think, the world-famous Speed Art Museum for hosting us tonight. Mid-last year, Brittany made the decision that the Speed Art Museum is now the curator at the Governor's Mansion, hanging some of their best works of our finest Kentucky artists. A lot's happened in these last couple weeks in Frankfort. We fought some hard battles. We've had some heartbreaking setbacks. And we learned that sometimes our coworkers claim they care about us, but don't. I gotta tell you, the courage of Karen Berg is incredible. There is no denying we face a lot of challenges ahead, but the most important thing we can do is to remember who we are. We are Kentuckians, every single one of us. We are strong. We are kind. We are compassionate people. My faith teaches me that we are to love our neighbor as ourselves, and the parable of the Good Samaritan says every single person is your neighbor, no ifs, ands, or buts. We are called to love everyone. Folks in this room and across Kentucky know that this really matters, and we will never forget that we're in this together. No matter who you are, no matter where you're from, we're in this together, and we'll get through this together. Instead of giving in to hate and division, we are working together to make progress for all. That's why we stand here today, while yes, facing some major obstacles, looking towards a future that ought to include everyone, because right now that future can be brighter than it's ever been. I mean, we're coming off some really big wins for Kentucky. The 2 best years of economic development in our history, being ranked number 2 in per capita economic development in the entire country. We're building the biggest battery plant on planet Earth, and we're building its twin right next to it. We're building the cleanest, greenest recycled paper mill in Henderson. We're building a clean aluminum project in Todd County. We've got a clean steel facility opening up in Brandenburg. We've got the largest investment in the history of Western Kentucky in Ascend Elements, which is going to recycle the lithium in our phones to put it into batteries so we don't have to rely on China for 1 ounce of lithium. We've set the lowest unemployment rate in our state's history, both for a year last year, and last year we set the lowest unemployment rate for a month 4 separate times. Since I become governor, $24.7 billion in new investment, 43,700 new jobs. Those are 43,700 individuals, 43,700 families that ought to be able to have the dignity of work, the security that comes with it, and the opportunity for their children. And that opportunity ought to apply to all of our Kentucky children. And we ought to trust our parents enough to make important decisions along with their children. I look at some of the things that we've been able to do together these last 3.5 years. I remember, I think it was my 3rd day in office that I signed an executive order that restored voting rights to 180,000 Kentuckians. Together, we're expanding health care like never before, expanding Medicaid coverage to new moms and their babies, expanding it to vision, dental, and hearing for the first time. We're building the first hospital in the west end of Louisville in 150 years. We got a new hospital in Bullitt County that cuts down on those ambulance rides. I got to open a new pediatric autism center in Prestonsburg. So folks don't have to drive their children an hour and a half or 2 hours just for therapy. We've signed legislation in that provide second chances, second chance employment for those suffering from addiction and even an incarceration to employment pipeline. We've implemented a GED waiver so that the cost of taking that test will never prevent someone from reaching that next level of education. We ensured, at the depths of that pandemic, one of the most difficult times that any of us have ever lived through, when that life-saving vaccine came out, its distribution was equitable and reached every part of Kentucky and every part of Louisville. Right now, we're doing more to provide clean drinking water to 4,000 homes that have never had it, and we're improving water service to 80,000 homes across Kentucky. We made the biggest public sector investment in broadband in our history, and we have more of the major road, bridge, and infrastructure work going than ever before. But we know it's not just the big things we do. Sometimes it's the ones that are meaningful, based on where certain things are standing. So I'm proud to be the governor that removed the statue of Jefferson Davis from our rotunda. And in many ways for the same reason. If you truly believe that every child is a child of God, you want every child that walks in that rotunda to feel welcome, to feel worthy, to not have to look at that symbol. We know that moving ahead requires strong support to our HBCUs, both Simmons here in Louisville and Kentucky State University in Frankfort. We've got more programs than ever before, a teaching program, more dollars coming in, an incredible grant to provide digital literacy to the entire community around Simmons. To KSU, yes, we've been through some tough times, but that university is absolutely imperative to the future and the success of this Commonwealth, and it will continue to have my full support. We know that there are still some fights that we have to win, but it looks like this session might just be the session where we see the passage of medical marijuana here in Kentucky. There's some parts we're going to have to come back for next year, some no-brainers. Folks, we have to pay our public school educators so much more. And it is far past time for universal pre-K for every 5-year-old child in this state. These are real steps towards progress. They're not about picking on somebody. They're not about kicking somebody when they're down. They're about lifting everyone up. Could you imagine if we had a session of our General Assembly where we didn't try to move the state to the right or the left, but just work to move it forward? One where we came together on the things that we agree on because there's enough there to build better lives for everyone. Ones where we decided that we would love more than we would hate. Ones where we just tried to be the very best of what our faith and our values teach us. We have a duty. We have a duty to every child here in Kentucky. Every single one. That's why I vetoed Senate Bill 150 this week. I did it for a number of reasons. Number one, let's say what it isn't. It is not a parents' rights bill. It is the exact opposite. Senate Bill 150 tears away the freedom of parents to sit down and have conversations with their kids and to make those difficult and complicated medical decisions. I believe our Kentucky parents ought to have that right. And we know because Karen Berg has taught us. We know because the Trevor's Project has put out the data. We know because of what the American Medical Association, the American Pediatric Association, all of them say. They say a bill like this will cause an increase in teen suicide. I think we're supposed to be in the suicide prevention business. How about you? And I finally want every kid out there, especially those that will be struggling the most after this legislation, to know that somebody in Frankfort cares about them and loves them, and it's their governor. I'm proud to have been the very first governor to stand with fairness in a rally at our state capitol. And I was proud to be the first governor to attend 2 fairness rallies and now 3 fairness rallies in our state capitol. And it's pretty simple. We should all have the opportunity to love whoever we choose. That's our right as human beings. That's our right as people. And don't let someone say, "Don't tread on me," if they're going to tell you who you can and cannot love. It's an honor to spend a little bit of time with you here tonight. know that somebody's got your back in Frankfurt. Know that I'm going to need you to have my back. Listen, in the middle of COVID, I think you saw, I was done making decisions based on politics. I was going to do the right thing to save the most lives that I possibly could. And that's exactly what I did in vetoing Senate Bill 150. If we're going to do the right thing, it means we've got to make decisions even when we think it can be tough on us professionally or tough on us politically. The right thing to do is still the right thing to do. So, Keturah, I know that you are ready. Head back to Frankfurt. Fight this fight. So to everyone, and I mean everyone, you are a child of God. You are loved. And to anybody out there that's hurting, understandably, based on what's going on, the most important thing you can do is first, take care of yourself. We'll fight this fight with you. We'll fight this fight for you. We will continue to push to make sure that everyone is seen for who they are and that everyone is recognized. Thank you all very much.
Thank you, Governor Beshear, for that welcome and for being the first governor to ever attend the We the People dinner in our 22 history. Some of you may or may not know, but the ACLU of Kentucky is in a leadership transition since November 2021. But tonight, it is my distinct honor to introduce to you tonight the new Executive Director of the American Civil Liberties Union of Kentucky. Our new Executive Director is a mother and a true civil rights leader in our community. Inspired by an American hero, John Lewis, at a young age, she has spent her entire professional career finding ways to get into good trouble by shining a light on systematic inequalities that disproportionately impact Black and other marginalized people. Our new executive director has been with the ACLU of Kentucky for 10 years, serving as a key leader in the organization's growth and visibility. During her tenure, she has worked as the organization's first communications director, first deputy director, and recently interim executive director. In each of these positions, she has worked to bring the ACLU of Kentucky values to life through clear communication, transparent decision-making, and partnership with community stakeholders. As we gather here tonight to celebrate this historic moment, I cannot help but reflect on the long and very difficult road that led us here. For far too long, Black, brown, people of color, and other historically marginalized individuals have been excluded from positions of power and influence, particularly in the realm of civil rights and civil liberties. But tonight, we witness the turning of a new era in this ongoing struggle for inequality and justice for all in the Commonwealth. So please welcome to the stage my colleague, dear friend, and our ancestors' dreams, and in its nearly 70-year history, the first Black leader of the American Civil Liberties Union of Kentucky, Madam Executive Director Amber Duke.
I love you all too. Thank you all so much. It is truly the honor of a lifetime to serve as the new executive director of the ACLU of Kentucky. I have the great privilege of getting to work with an exceptional staff and steadfast community partners like the Fairness Campaign. I would like to ask the staff and board of directors of both the ACLU of Kentucky and Fairness Campaign to stand and be recognized. So while I stand here at this microphone alone, there are so many people who have played a role in supporting me throughout my life that have helped me get to this moment. I'm not able to thank them all, but I do want to name a few. I want to thank my parents, Derek and T-Jan Booker, over here. They not only provided me with a safe, happy, healthy home, but they encouraged me to dream big and to give back to my community and my people. Thank you, Mom and Dad. I want to thank my husband, Brent, and my daughter, Harper, who are not here tonight. They are off on their annual daddy-daughter spring break travel. Harper was 10 months old when I started to work at the ACLU of Kentucky. She's now 11 years old and in 5th grade. And both she and Brent sacrifice so much on a daily basis for me to be able to do the work that I do, and I'm grateful and I love them both dearly. I'm appreciative of a wide swath of women who blaze the trail ahead of me. My late grandmother, Margaret Eddy, who attended a segregated school in New Albany, Indiana. Women like Elmer Lucille Allen, who's a special guest at my table tonight. The first Black woman chemist at Brown-Forman. Her fabric art hangs in my office, and I'm inspired by it each day. I'm appreciative to the women of the ACLU of Kentucky, the late Susie Post, Jessica Loving, Cherie Dawson-Edwards, Enid Trucios-Haynes, and others who challenged our 67-year-old organization to be bolder, more expansive, and to move racial justice to the center of our work. So breaking a glass ceiling over the course of 16 months can come with a few cuts and scrapes. I'm still shaking a little glass out of my hair tonight. I am grateful to my teammate, Savannah Taylor, who's standing there in the middle of the room, sparkling. I'm grateful to my colleague, Charlene Buckles, with that amazing introduction. These two women in particular have just supported me and really held me up through the transition period. I'm thankful to so many of you in this room, in this area. It's like my cheer squad. Thank you all for cheering me on, for your text messages, calls, hugs, cards. It's really meant the world to me. My time spent as interim executive director was filled with some of the scariest political shifts I've experienced in my lifetime. But I still stand here filled with hope and optimism for what we can continue to achieve together. Days after I became interim executive director, 3 people died in 1 week in our jail downtown. That grim death toll now stands at 13. And as we continue to mourn these horrific and unnecessary deaths, we continue fighting together. The community stakeholders to end deaths at LMDCs meets twice a month. We work together on an amnesty court that cleared bench warrants for hundreds of people and raised $300,000 to pay restitution to keep as many people out of that facility as we could. Of course, last summer, Roe fell. We were in shock, we were angry, but we came together. First, we marched in the streets, and then we came together as Protect Kentucky Access, and we did what no one in the nation thought we could do. We defeated Amendment 2. We were able to keep an abortion ban out of our state constitution. And we took our fight to the Kentucky Supreme Court exactly 1 week after Election Day. Now, the court's ruling wasn't what we wanted it to be, but our work to restore abortion access in this Commonwealth continues. No one should be forced to remain pregnant against their will, and no one should be forced to flee their home state in order to receive the health care that they need. I have to skip over a lot more things that happened, but we find ourselves tonight at yet another historic juncture in this Commonwealth. The General Assembly has passed the harshest and most heinous anti-trans legislation in the United States of America. I don't have the words to tell you how gut-wrenching it has been to watch trans Kentuckians and their parents screaming, begging, pleading, crying to our legislators to allow them to simply exist as they are. As awful as these scenes have been, there have been others. Hundreds of high school students walking out of their classrooms across the Commonwealth in protest. And these students' promises to their classmates that no matter what the ghouls in Frankfort legislate, they are going to continue to respect and support them. My team will continue to stand with trans Kentuckians in Frankfort in the final days of the session. Chris and I ask you to keep showing up, calling, emailing your legislators so they know what they are doing is not in your name. It is important that they hear from you. I am proud to announce tonight that if Senate Bill 150 follows the path that we expect it to follow, becoming law after Governor Beshear's veto is overridden, the ACLU of Kentucky will see the Commonwealth in court. My small and mighty legal team is already working with trans Kentuckians and their families to challenge this unconstitutional attack on parental rights, equal protection under the law, freedom of speech and expression, the list goes on and on. It is really quite simple. Trans people deserve access to the medical care that they need. Trans students should be treated with dignity and respect. All students should be able to learn all of American history. All students should be able to see themselves reflected in the curriculum. They should feel like they belong for who they are. They should have the freedom to read. And they should be called by their chosen name and pronouns. I am proud to lead the organization that will lead the next leg of this fight. I promise you we will fight this unquestionably unconstitutional law with the full weight of our organization, but we cannot do it without you. This type of litigation is costly, it is time-consuming. We need your continued support. Kentucky needs a strong ACLU in this moment and in the challenges we face ahead. Kentucky needs a strong fairness campaign in this moment. Thank you for standing with us, with working with us, for building power with us. Together we will survive, we will thrive, and we can move closer to a more just and equitable Commonwealth that we all dream of. Thank you. I am now proud to bring up my dear friend and support in this work. I will say these days he is running on energy drinks and pure adrenaline alone. Please welcome Executive Director of the Fairness Campaign, Chris Hartman.
How about that, Amber Duke? I feel like I just heard her say we're going to sue him to hell and back. Thank you all so much for being here. My favorite event of the year. My name's Chris Hartman. I use he, him pronouns. I'm Executive Director of the Fairness Campaign. This is my 15th We the People dinner. It's been a minute. And we could not have done it this year without our unbelievable team. Right now, I'm a staff of one. We're getting ready to bring some more full-time staffers onto the Fairness Campaign. But the ACLU team has stepped up like never before. I want you all to give some more love. You met her earlier. Charlene Buckles made so much of this happen. And huge thanks to Katima. There's so many folks, but none that we need to thank more than the incomparable Susan Hirschberg and the Wiltshire Pantry. "23 years of this dinner. Give it up also for Magnolia's Florist and your amazing floral arrangements on the table, David Williams. We love him. Friends, I'm going to be incredibly brief because there's not much that I can say that your incredible governor and your brand new executive director of the ACLU of Kentucky, Amber Duke, hasn't already said. You know that we've been suffering in Frankfort. I've been angrier than ever before. Don't know if you've noticed. I was so polite for the first 14 legislative sessions. I never yelled at anyone except a Family Foundation lobbyist in a hallway 10 years ago. But what can I say? I can't stop yelling at these people who, as Amber said, are truly ghouls lurking around the halls of Frankfurt looking to score the cheapest and the dirtiest political points they can on the lives of our transgender children. And they do not deserve that. And you know why they're coming for us? You know why they want to erase us? Is because there are too many of us. Our LGBTQ folks, our friends, our families are too loud and too proud, and every single one of us refuses to go back into any closet that they want to shove us in. And if we together stand united in the fight for fairness, united in dismantling systemic racism, united in reproductive freedom, united in immigrant rights, united in disability justice, we will be the supermajority. But only if we act together. Only if every one of you activates in this final week of the legislative session to convince state lawmakers to sustain your governor's veto on the worst anti-trans bill in the entire country right now. Amen. I heard that table banging. And I don't know if you got to show enough love to your governor, but I do want to remind you that he has consistently proven that he is the most pro-equality governor in Kentucky's history. You need to activate in Frankfurt. You need to activate in the primary elections. You sure as hell need to activate in the general election this November when you can elect the most pro-equality slate of constitutional lawmakers in our Commonwealth's history. From your governor's office to your attorney general's office to your secretary of state's office to your treasurer and on down the line. Kentucky can be what we make it. There's always darkness before the dawn. And I see such a dawn. Such a dawn before us. We've got more fairness ordinances than ever before. 24 Kentucky communities have banned discrimination. We've got more pride festivals than ever before. 25 Kentucky communities celebrate pride loud and proud in their public parks, despite the legislature trying to eradicate drag from our public places. We will not stand down. We will be more fierce and fabulous in our public parks than ever before. We're all going to make it happen together. Tonight's dinner, as all of Susan Hirschberg's dinners, are about celebrating you, our beloved community, without whom we could not make any of this happen. But tonight's dinner is special because tonight we are also celebrating the life and the legacy of our friend, an advocate, a leader in the queer rights movement, and a former fairness campaign intern, Henry Berg Brousseau. And if you didn't know Henry, I'm sorry for you, because you would have loved Henry. And we continue to love his incredible family who are all around us. Henry's dad, Bob Brousseau, is in the crowd tonight. Henry's uncle Dave is here in the crowd tonight. Henry's Aunt Dina is here in the crowd tonight. And of course, Henry's beloved mother, Dr. Senator Karen Berg. My mother may tell it differently. She's here tonight. I think they asked me, my mom is here. I think they asked me if I wanted siblings when I was younger, and I said, no, of course not, I don't. But Henry was the little brother I never wanted. But Henry was undeniable. You couldn't tell Henry no to anything. Whether it was getting in the car and riding with me all the way across the state for an incredibly boring organizing meeting of just 6 folks sitting around a table, Henry had to go, peppering me with questions the whole way. When we went to D.C. to join the rally before the Supreme Court as they were hearing oral arguments in the marriage equality case, Henry would not be told no to come with us. Henry lost his wallet, all of his money, his IDs. How the hell did we get Henry home? I don't know. But Henry was always, always with us. And so if you don't know Henry, you can learn much more about him in the sublime piece that the Washington Post ran today, but also in this video that we'd like to share with you right now. The video does discuss suicide, so that you know, and self-harm.
I actually came out of school before I came out of home, and my school did not meet with my parents about what they were going to do, but they did make me tell my parents before they would be allowed to call me Henry. It was a huge transition for everybody, and a lot of people weren't very nice.
Take the case of Henry Brousseau, a transgender high school student who spoke in opposition to a proposed bathroom bill in Kentucky.
Even though I've been living as a male for some time, I've been accepted by my friends and family as a male, I was being forced to use a girls' bathroom at my school until very recently. Because the school administration did not support my gender identity by letting me use the restrooms concordant with my gender identity, the kids at my school bullied me. The kids thought that because the administration didn't support my gender identity, they didn't have to either.
And that is the whole point.
I think it's driven by 2 things. One is the rhetoric that's coming out from politicians. They're using our community as political footballs, and they're spreading lies and hate about our community. Couple that with social media platforms that are monetizing hate, that are monetizing lies. They're making money off of spreading hate.
Imagine what it is like day in and day out to go through the world and not have people recognize you for what you inside are.
Henry's life and his legacy is unparalleled and carried on by all of us today, but especially by his mother, who has not stood down to any of these hateful bigots in Frankfort. Please welcome Dr. Senator Karen Berg.
Oh my God, guys. The love in this room fills my heart and gives me strength. And this is what we need going further. I never write it down. My oldest child says, "Mom, write it down, write it down." I never write it down. But I want to tell you a couple of things. First of all, Henry loved this event. He loved the people in this room, and he loved what we stood for. Caring and acceptance and inclusiveness, and let's just take care of each other. And I cannot thank each and every one of you enough for the love, for the support, for the caring that you have showed to me, that you have showed to my family, that you have showed to my colleagues in Frankfort, being there as an example of what is good and what is true and what is right and what we need to be working together for. This is not a night to be sad. This is a night to celebrate. I went out, guys, and I bought a new dress. I did. We are proud. We are strong. Our heads are up. Our shoulders are back. We know the work ahead of us. But it is good work. It is work that we are happy to do. Because, guys, this is the work that is going to make this world a better place for all of us. For all of us. And I just want to thank you. I want to thank you for being here, for supporting our community as we move forward to make this simply a more perfect union. And we should not be discouraged. We should not be dissuaded. We have truth. We have righteousness. we have history, and God, we have religion on our side. We have everything we need to win. So thank you, and thank you. And your strength and your love, and the love pouring out of everybody in this room keeps all of us going, keeps us moving forward, and the day will come, the day will come, the day will come. Do not have any fear of that. Thank you.
Let's hear it one more time for Dr. Senator Karen Berg. And now let's hear it for your host this evening. She's fed you a delicious meal. Feed her with your applause and love, Susan Hirschberg.
Wow is all I can say. My protest family taught me a saying, and I think Karen Berg really just said it beautifully as well. We need to keep going. Right. This event is so special to me, and I have to say this year, I'm blown away by the community that we have brought together. When I look out into the crowd, it's it's spectacular. I get to go to a lot of parties, and I can assure you that when I look out at the crowd, I never see an audience like this. So it's absolutely, I'm a little speechless. So I'd like to ask you all to come together. As you know, we have a real fight ahead. We have some momentum going forward with the governor on our side, but we know that the battle has just started. And I'd like to ask each person, I know that a lot of you have already given tonight, but I'd like you all to dig deep and contribute to this campaign so that we can keep going. We have 470 people who came together tonight to support the work of the ACLU and the Fairness Campaign, and to support Karen, you and your family, with so much love. What I'd like to ask is, I'd like to see 400 of the 470 people in the room contribute through the text to give. I think that we have coming up on the screen the number for text to give. I need a little cheat sheet. Okay, I'm not good at this. Is this on everybody's table? Okay, so you have this on the back of your menu. You can tell I didn't sit down tonight, sorry. On the back of your menu, it shows you how you can give online, okay? You can scan, text. Does everybody see that information on the back of your menu? Okay, awesome, thank you. You can tell I'm not one of these techie people. So, again, like I said, if we can get 400 out of the 470 people, our goal tonight is to raise $225,000. And we've already gotten really, really close. We're at almost $180,000 going in. So I really believe if we can get 3 people to give $2,500, and you can give anonymously, you can raise your hand. We'll come over and give you a hug. We'll give you an extra dessert. So last year we raised, I think, $40,000 at the event. And so if we can come close to that tonight, we're going to hit our goal. So I'd like to see that number start to raise. My friend Nicole over here, she said, Susan, I don't know how you did it. All of a sudden, that number just started moving. So that's what we're looking for. I think if we can get 3 people to give us $2,500, maybe we can get 5 people to give us $1,500. We're almost there. And if you think about what we can do with those funds, not only the litigation that we're going to need to really, really push for right away, but we can continue to expand fairness communities throughout the state. We can continue to have more people join the litigation team at the ACLU. We can have more people continue to join the lobbying team. Imagine what would have happened if we didn't have that spectacular team of people in Frankfurt. And this event, for me, the most meaningful thing for me is that all of those folks, the boots on the ground activists who go day in and day out during the session, this is my way of saying thank you for the work that you do. We have 140 community activists who are here at the table with us tonight, who without the support of those of you who give for scholarship seats would never be able to come and attend an event like this. So it's really, really important to me that those of us who do the work get to sit down at the table and let my amazing team take care of you. Let's thank my culinary team and my front of the house service staff team. So we're making some really great progress. Let's see if we can get 20 people who will give $500. If we get 20 people who give $500, that's going to bring us up 10 grand. I can still do math while talking. I can't always do it, but tonight it's coming to me. So then the other thing that I want to ask is, even if you can only give $5, if we could get 300 people to give $5, I can't do that math, no. So again, I really thank the sponsors who have put together amazing tables full of folks. How many people have never been to this event before? Okay, I love it. I love it. We've got some new folks. I hope you had a wonderful time. If anybody wants extra dinner, it'll be $45. We're getting real close to 200,000. So let's see how many people will give $100. If we can get, what do you think? Maybe some of my service staff will even kick in a little something, something. I think we've got 50 service staff. There we go. A little something, something from Team Wiltshire. There we go. There we go. Yep. I love it. We're getting real close. Getting real close. There we go. We're almost at 205. Okay, so how about, beautiful. I love it. How about every mom out there? I see my mom in the back. Mom, have you texted yet? She did. Awesome. Okay, we're getting really close, and I know that folks will continue to give throughout the evening and even beyond. I want to thank, I know we have a donor who's not here with us tonight who pledged $2,500. And so I don't think that that's included in that amount. So we're really, really close, guys. This is beautiful. It's beautiful. I don't want to take too much more of your time because I want you to have a chance to enjoy each other's company. We spent a little bit more time talking, and I always want this event to really not have a program, but there's so much to talk about. So we did our best. Again, I can't tell you how spectacular it is for me to have each and every one of you at the table. And sometimes I think, oh my God, I really don't want to do this event again because it's a lot of pressure. But then I walk in the door, I see you all walk through the door, and I'm reminded that it really, truly is my absolute favorite event of the whole year. So from the bottom of my heart, thank you. Particularly, I have to say, the team that really produces this event, the staff of the ACLU, Charlene, just spectacular, Katima, amazing, amazing. People ask me how I do it, and honestly, I really just get to roll in through the front door and it's all done. So, amazing work to be able to go through what this team has gone through in the legislature and be able to pull off an event like this. It is really, really, truly spectacular. We're getting real close, guys. Let's see that number keep going. And thank you, thank you, thank you. Okay, wait a second. I got somebody telling me to wait a second. I think we have somebody donating $10,000. I made it all the way through without crying until right now, so.
And thank George Stinson and Jack Dahlworth.
George Stinson, where'd you go? You're hiding from me.
And Jack Dahlworth.
And Jack Dahlworth, from the bottom of my heart, thank you, thank you, thank you. This is what community looks like. This is what community looks like. I love my Breway family. Have a wonderful evening, everyone.
Give it up one last time for Susan Hirschberg! Enjoy your evening. We love you so much.
Can Savvy come to the front, please? Not Shabazz, you're already up here. Savannah Taylor, please come to the front. Amber, anyone else with ACLU, please come to the front. Breaking Barriers, come to the front.